Welcome one and all to the Cinegeeks Podcast, where movies, TV, and all things geek collide. I'm Roy, still joined by my lovely co-host Angela.
Hello!
Hey Angela. And for today's episode, we will be talking about a couple of much anticipated releases straight out of the ongoing 12th annual QCinema International Film Festival. Yes, and the first one being the Directors Factory Philippines. So, just a bit of intro. I'll be reading off of the QCinema website as to what this release is about.
Okay.
So, since 2013, the Cannes Directors Fortnight has played host to the Directors Factory, a program that surfaces new talents and gives them an opportunity to be showcased on the international scene. Every year, they select 8 filmmakers, 4 from a partner country, and another 4 from other emerging cinemas from around the world, all of whom have ambitious first or second feature projects. So they are paired up and they produce 4 short films, which are then premiered at the Directors Fortnight. And luckily, this year, Directors Factory has selected the Philippines as its partner country, the first Southeast Asian nation to be chosen for this honor.
Wow.
And these films were supported by the Quezon City Film Commission, and the QCinema International Film Festival is proud to premiere these films on local soil on opening night. So that's the first one we'll be talking about. And of course, the other one being the much anticipated Anora, written and directed by Sean Baker, starring Mikey Madison.
Yes, but before we continue, we'd like to remind everyone who hasn't done so to follow our pod wherever you listen to podcasts like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Threads, Letterboxd, and X, aka Twitter, so you can join in on the fun. Also, please visit our website, www.cinegeekspod.com, for the latest in movie and TV news and reviews.
And also send us your questions, suggestions, and violent reactions, violent talaga, to our email address, cinegeekspod@gmail.com. And by the way, please join us on our Facebook group called the Cinegeeks PHHQ. Alright? There you can interact with us and with your fellow Cinegeeks about the current events and latest on movies and streaming if you're on streaming.
That's right. All right. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and talk about the first release we'll be talking about for this episode, Anora. Anora, a young sex worker from Brooklyn, meets and impulsively marries the son of a Russian oligarch. Once the news reaches Russia, her fairy tale is threatened as his parents set out for New York to get the marriage annulled. All right. So, Nora, a much anticipated, much anticipated release.
Actually, I did not know it was much anticipated. I didn't know about the movie until recently lang.
Well, true. I mean, meron din naman kasing mga ibang bagay na nag-occupy ng ating headspace at the moment. Pero in terms of being anticipated, dahil dun sa, ano bang tawag dito, yung kanyang accolades that it has been garnering these past few months since its release, has, again, yung built up the hype, so to speak.
Because of Cannes Palme D'or.
Yeah. So, huwag na natin patagalin pa. Ange, what did you think of Anora?
Okay, Anora. First of all, I came into this movie talaga without seeing anything, no trailers, no articles, no whatever. Talagang blind. Blind watch to. Kasi, well, I always do that naman. As much as possible, I wanna go in blind. Para at least hindi colored with bias yung magiging opinion ko if it's ano. So, hindi naman ako affected ng hype. Fortunately. Pero aware lang ako. Like you said, it was mentioned na siya nga yung nanalo ng Palme d'Or. So by that, by association, doon ako nagkaroon ng expectation. Because syempre, yung mga Palme d'Or na alam ko, sobrang memorable for me. Like Parasite and Triangle of Sadness, di ba? Anatomy of a Fall. Yun yung mga naalala kong Palme d'Or. So, I was bracing myself for a gut punch kasi lahat ng mga movies na nabanggit ko were all gut punch talaga from out of nowhere. And Ayun.
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 It's very, how should I put
Let's
this?
just rip the band-aid off na.
Okay. Para siyang Euphoria the movie.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Sige, go.
Kasi this speaks a lot to Gen Z, I feel like.
Mhm.
Yung parang hedonistic lifestyle, yung sobrang grabe yung sexual gratification, yung casual
Instant gratification. Yan.
yung casual relationships, situationships as they call it.
Mhm.
Yung mga ganong, tapos yung sobrang impulsiveness, they get married young. I mean, look at Millie Bobby Brown, di ba?
Yes.
So, parang, yon, it really did not reach me on a personal level kasi hindi ako makarelate dun sa character. I was just watching them. Pero I was taken for a ride naman, kahit papaano, kasi it was entertaining at some parts. Although yung umpisa was very Euphoria. Yun yung masasabi ko.
Yun na lang sabihin natin. Tama. Oo.
But yeah, si Mikey Madison, the titular character portraying Anora
Or Annie.
or Annie,
Yes.
akala ko yung pupuntahan ng character niya is parang Hustlers starring Jennifer Lopez and sino to? Si Crazy Rich Asians, Constance Wu.
Constance Wu, yes.
Akala ko magiging ganon kasi parang hooker trying to climb the ladder of social.
Yung bang tipong parang gusto niyang makaangat sa station niya sa buhay. Parang ganun.
Kumbaga parang ambitious
Yes.
hooker. Na.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Sige.
Yon. And then, well, technically, she was a hustler. Na pinakita naman dun sa, well, of course, this spoiler review na to.
Yeah. Let's just spoil it. Go.
Yeah. Hustler talaga siya. As in, ang daming montage dun sa first sequence na talagang she works hard.
Siya yung epitome nung, ayun ka na, she works hard for the money.
Yun.
She ba yan?
Proud Mary. Ay,
Hindi, iba.
Ay, iba ba?
Sabi, she works hard. Sige, go. Ayun, she works hard for the money. Kanta ni Donna Summer. Ayan. Okay, sige, go.
Yon. But it went Hangover instead of The Hustlers.
Actually. Oo.
Pero medyo, I don't wanna get ahead of myself pero medyo a little bit underwhelming siya for me. Let's just put it at that for now.
Sige.
And then discuss it further. Ikaw naman.
Sige. Ako naman, I totally agree with everything you said about having high expectations for the film. Kasi nga pag sinabing Palme d'Or winner, our expectations is this is not gonna be just any kind of movie. And add to that the fact that there are promotional materials coming out that even say that Anora is quote-unquote pure movie magic. Of course, when you see, when you see, fluff pieces like that, it's impossible not to get hyped. Especially when that film won the Palme d'Or. Kasi over the past few years, we've seen, again, deserving Palme d'Or winners that deserve the hype. And even surpass the hype.
True.
Sa akin naman, again, I agree with everything you said. Nakulangan ako dun sa kwento. Na parang, maybe this isn't the film for me. Yung if I may use that axiom, na ayoko siyang gamiting scapegoat or cop-out para sabihin ko na parang, hindi ko naintindihan yung sine. Kasi kapag manonood naman tayo ng kahit anong sine, we try to, again, go in with an open mind. We want to parang experience what the creatives have in store for us in terms of how they see life. Kasi gano'n naman yung sine And
through the lens of the writer and the filmmaker.
Yun, true. And I wanted to mention this, the last movie episode we had about yung sa Outside, na kung bakit gumana yung movie na yon. And this is something that the late great Roger Ebert said in an interview once. Na a great film makes you forget that you're watching a film. You are totally entranced by the plight of the characters. You empathize with them and you only want the best for them. I'm just paraphrasing. You can look for that exact clip. Si Charlie Rose yung kausap niya. Pero dito, siguro nga dahil merong generational disconnect Especially yung sinabi mong parang mala-euphoria na simula.
Yeah.
Para sa akin, I don't mind sex and nudity in my films. Ako pa ang makikipaglaban, makipagpunong braso pa ako sa MTRCB para ma-release uncut yung mga ganong klaseng sine. Pero
I mean, it's worth mentioning yung the substance.
The substance, yun.
The nudity was used very...
perfectly.
Napaka, pivotal and crucial niya dun sa storytelling.
Yes. Pero kasi dito, parang, did the start really have to be that? Ito, I do hope sincerely na I'm not coming across as a prude. Okay, kasi I love the substance, pero yon gabi ng gamit ang nudity doon, pero it works in the service of the story.
Yes.
Ito kasi, yung simula niya, parang siyang, how long do we have to see that she quote-unquote works hard for the money for that point to come across?
Oo nga, we get it.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah, no, we get it. Na parang, we got it the first 3 times na she got. Pwede siguro yung first 3 times and then magkita na sila ni Ivan.
Love thirds.
Yon, ganun. Ito kasi parang, dami, parang, it's excessive.
Too
gratuitous at the point.
Kaya nga euphoria eh.
Exactly. And then, when we start getting to the story itself, it then starts to employ a breakneck, frenetic pace na parang may mga nangyayari ng sabay-sabay, may nag-uusap ng sabay-sabay.
Yeah.
Some films use that fantastically.
Para siyang, alam mo,
Nagpapaka-uncut gems siya.
or parang Ianucci.
Yon. Na parang everyone's talking over each other, trying to out, quote-unquote, stupid each other.
Yeah.
Yung ganon.
Oo.
Pero kasi dito, para siyang, why are you all talking at the same time? We get it. We get how chaotic this situation is. It doesn't have to be parang displayed in such a way na yung parang constant barrage siya ng you're trying to figure out what's happening. Pero the movie is trying to employ subterfuge by being so frenetic na ang nangyayari na tuloy na mamask niya na the movie is about nothing
Yeah.
in terms of substance. Yon.
Alam mo nga, I just wanna go back to what I said earlier about The Hangover. Na yes, they can be chaotic, just like the gang in The Hangover. Pero at least, in that chaos, they were building connections and relationships, di ba? Parang na-realize nila na una away sila ng away and then they eventually see eye to eye and realize how similar they are and how a lot of common things they share with each other, di ba?
Yes.
Tapos doon na magkakaroon ng catharsis.
Exactly.
Na parang, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey.
Yes.
Parang ganon. Pero ito kasi, since nga, this is a lot like The Hangover, they were looking for one person who is missing the entire movie. I mean, nakita siya kaagad. Hindi man lang parang, basta.
Siguro,
but nung nakita siya, parang, hindi siya eventful for me.
Yon, hindi siya nag-bring about ng growth doon sa mga forefront characters that we spend time with before we get to yung ano na yon, yung parang plot development na yon. Na sige, since we're spoiling this, what happens is after Anora and Ivan, yung anak ng oligarch, get impulsively married in Vegas, yung mga consigliere nung magulang nung bata biglang nag-converge sila dun sa bahay ni Ivan. Yung may 2 Armenian tas may 1 Russian silang hinire na parang muscle lang dapat. Ngayon, ang magiging kasama natin throughout the film is si Anora, the 2 Armenians, and then the Russian.
Anora and the 3 Stooges.
Parang ganun nga yung dating na napaka-appropriate nung comparison mo to The Hangover. Na yun, 3 sila doon. Pero sige, 3, 4, semantics. Pero there are a group of people looking for this missing person, essentially the plot device of the film. Siya. Ngayon, doon sa Hangover, for all the faults that we can enumerate about that film, one thing that got right, as you said, is that the film actually takes time to develop these relationships in front of us, and then eventually, when they finally find Doug doon, it brings about a sort of character and emotional and plot catharsis. Kumbaga, medyo satisfying siya to a degree. Ito kasi, ang dami na sanang opportunities for them to develop their relationships with each other.
And there were attempts actually na nakikita ko na dinedevelop nila yung character ni Igor, na parang there's a little backstory dun sa kwento ni Toros, tsaka yung brother niya.
Yung bigger Armenian, yun.
Yung Armenian brothers na nanggaling pa sa baptism. I mean, they could have used that to further develop the characters of these three parang goons.
And ang nakaka-dismaya pa nga is, yun na nga, ang ginamit nilang genre dito, in-employ nila is comedy. It's the perfect sandbox to develop a story about seemingly disparate parts coming together to fulfill a common goal. Yun, kasi nga, it's the comedy of errors. It's how these people find parang, hindi naman solace or comfort, pero how they bond in whatever fucked up way they will bond and achieve what they're all trying to achieve. Siguro sabihin natin sa simula individually, pero eventually magiging collective siya. And to be fair naman to the film, it does bring about a convergence point na every one of them achieves their goal. Eventually mahahanap nila si Ivan. Pero yung sinabi mo kanina na parang nung nahanap nila, parang wala, nahanap nila. Yun na.
Oo. And then, ang tagal pa, parang hindi yun yung parang naging pivotal moment ng movie.
Hindi pa.
When the main goal of the movie for a long period of time is finding him. Diba?
True.
I was expecting a little bit more of a reveal or parang bakit siya umalis? Bakit siya, parang was he just acting out? Was he parang rebelling against his parents? O yun yung pag-ano niya? Ano ba talaga yung niya kay Anora, di ba? Well, it was not, parang...
Wala siyang narrative satisfaction. And we get it. Sige, if the film wants to be like that, na talagang super slice of life, na talagang ipapakita niya kung paano talaga yung mga tao sa totoong buhay, kung paano mag-react, sige, good luck to them. Pero, we here, sige, I'm gonna throw this back to you later on. I'm gonna speak for myself muna. Mas ma-appreciate ko yung mga sine na alam na nagpa-play doon sa sandbox na sine siya. Yon. I love a good art film, yes. Pero, wag naman yung tipong sobrang parang, oh my God, what is this trying to tell me? Yung ganun. No, I'm watching a fucking movie. Give me a movie. A movie has 3 acts or howsoever acts siya. Hindi yung parang, I'm not gonna watch a park bench painted red dry up and say that that's a movie. No. Pero kasi parang yun yung gusto niya mangyari eh. Na parang siyang walang dahilan kung bakit ginawa ni Ivan yon. It's just because ganun lang yung generation ngayon. That's not for
writing.
Me. Sige, there's an audience for a movie like that. I am so squarely not in that bunch of people watching movies na yung sobrang ratcheted up to 100 yung esotericism na puro metaphor. No, give me a fucking movie. Give me a fucking narrative. Make everything make sense as a movie. Yon. 'Di ba? Na yung sige, magiging counterpoint diyan. Yun yung gusto niyong gawin ng sine. Na parang just accurate portrayal of the hedonism and the impulsiveness of the Gen Z.
And the realistic nature of ganong mga affairs. No? Pero kasi nga, yun nga just to add to what you just said kanina.
Yeah, sige, going back, sorry.
With so many things that's happening all throughout the movie, there was little substance in it. Parang one-dimensional yung mga characters kasi hindi naman nag-take time to develop their stories.
Oo.
Ang hirap maging invested. Invested lang ako kay Anora, but even Anora, wala ako masyadong alam tungkol sa kanya. I wish I knew more about her.
Exactly.
To really root for her. Diba? Kay Igor, parang there was something that, parang dinedevelop with those parang silent looks niya. Pero, alam mo yon, parang I still was not given more to really latch on to him and to parang champion his character. Kasi, yung parang last 2 characters natin, I'm going straight to the ending now.
Go.
Sila yung dalawang natira. So, sila yung dapat merong pinakamalayong journey.
As characters. Yes.
Pero, alam mo yon, parang for Anora, nothing's changed. She just went back to where she started. Even worse, kasi traumatized siya. And Igor, well, I don't know anything
Igor
about
is still
Igor.
Igor. Except na sinakyan na siya ni Anora. So that changed.
I mean, alam ko yung gustong sabihin ng scene na yun.
Anatomical positions changed.
Pero, ayun nga hindi siya earned. Kasi wala naman silang in-establish na connection in the beginning except for that wrestling match on the couch.
Tapos yung para siyang, Igor was just doing his job, restraining her. Hindi nga siya sinasaktan. So parang, are we supposed to parang infer from that na nagkainlaban sila doon? Or at least nagkaroon ng connection from that. Even nga yung parang sa dulo na meron silang conversation, them just, fucking with each other. Naggagaguhan lang silang dalawa. Are we supposed to infer na a connection was made there?
A deeper connection? Parang hindi naman.
Or is that parang a reflection of how shallow people are nowadays? That's the connection for them. Wala na nagte-take time na talaga mag-build ng deeper connections. Maggaguhan lang kayo habang nag-yosi. Diba? Sex na. Ganon. So even then, that movie loses me right there. Na parang, okay, sige. Okay, movie. Sige, bahala ka dyan. If it were just taken by its own merits, okay? Just as Anora film without any accolade, it's fine. Serviceable.
Yeah, sometimes Palme d'Or can be a blessing or a curse, no?
Pero dahil naging Palme d'Or winner siya, parang siyang, saan dito yung ka-Palme d'Or, Diyos ko Mariosep? Diba?
True. Although, para sa akin, ka-Palme d'Or yung rant ni Toros about Gen Z.
Yes. Favorite character of the film, yung dalawang Armenian.
Or
especially si Toros yung kuya.
Generation. Yun yung generational statement na hammer home naman ni Anora na the youth of today are all about TikTok and Instagram. Payag ba kayo, guys? Payag kayo, guys?
Feeling ko parang kanina tayo dalawa lang yung mga palakpak.
Hoy, hindi, Gagi.
Marami ba?
I mean, the crowd roared in laughter. Sobrang tamang-tama sila. Alam mo yung, nakikita ko pa nga yung iba na,
nagkikringe.
tinatouch pa nila yung chest nila na parang, oh my God, tinamaan ako doon. As in, guys. While laughing, of course. Pero it was a light moment naman. Well, it's not like parang they're being called out or anything. Pero, ayun nga parang sure. This is like a movie commenting on the casual hookups of the younger generation.
Ito na, sige. Dagdag ko na lang ng one last before we wrap it up. Kasi, yun nga, we're gonna go over the short films in a moment. I would have loved it na lang if it actually parang went all in, kumbaga, dun sa pagiging eat the rich. Kasi meron ng thread may morsel na dun Napapunta na sana tayo dun kasi may naging usapan sila nung bago sila pumunta ng Vegas na parang pinroposition ni Ivan una si Anora na maging girlfriend muna kita for a week, 10,000. Tapos pumayag siya. 15. Pumayag siya sa sabi niya 15, tapos nag-deal to si Guy. Sabi ni Guy, pero alam mo kung nag-30 ka, papayag ako sa'yo. Doon sa deal. So essentially, parang siyang meron ng ganun meron ng parang morsel of the rich, quote-unquote, the rich, parang giving her value. And then her, ang maganda sanang magiging journey natin dito was, eventually, Anora determining her own value.
Siya yung magne-name nung price niya.
Yon. Kasi yung pagdating sa dulo na eventually naging annulled na lahat, merong isang moment doon na parang sinabi nung nanay doon dumating na yung magulang niya from Russia, ni Ivan. Sabi niya na parang, no, I'm not gonna do the divorce. I'm gonna get a lawyer and then I'm gonna get everything. I'm gonna get half.
Because I did not sign a prenup. Which is legally. Yes.
So dapat.
Legally sound.
Pero bigla nung sinabihan siya nung nanay ni Ivan na parang, no, I'm gonna get everything. I'm gonna defeat you. I'm gonna eat you up. Parang tiklop naman siya bigla. Parang,
nga, that's not the Anora that we saw earlier na so grabing hindi ma-restrain, diba?
Where's the girl that works hard for the money? Wala na. Tiklop na lang bigla.
At saka hindi, wait lang concern ako doon. Diba ang sabi sa dulo, 10K yung i-wire sa kanya, dapat 25 yun. Kasi yung 15K na ginawa niyang duty niya as the girlfriend for a week. Plus yung 10K para sa divorce. Dapat 25K yung binayad sa kanya.
Okay lang,
pakilinaw nga si Sean Baker.
Okay lang,
Paki-message.
Inabot naman ni Igor yung wedding ring sa kanya Ninenok ni Igor.
Hindi, dapat on top pa yun.
Dahil pumunta sila doon ng Chase Bank, diba? Yung Chase, parang yung BPI preferred pinuntahan nila. Nung bago hinatid ni Igor doon sa bahay.
Pero gusto ko malaman kung nakuha niya ng buo, hindi ako papayag na 10K lang.
Sayang kasi ito pa nakakatawa doon. They make so many, parang napaka-ballyhood nung dahil yung parang anong ibig sabihin ng Anora. Okay. Sabi daw, Anora is honor.
Valor.
So, valor, ganon. So parang ginagago ka na. Wala pa rin yung ano ng pangalan mo. Sige, we're gonna say na parang in real life that happens. This is a movie. This has to have a narrative satisfaction to it.
Catharsis,
What does the name mean
What's
in the
name?
story, di ba?
Yeah.
It's supposed to inform the character of the film. Kung ganun yung pinangalan nung writer sa kanya.
Honor.
Or kung magiging inversion siya nung pangalan nung character, at least give us parang threads as to the eventual quote-unquote moral downfall of the character. Dito wala eh.
Dishonor.
Palaban siya, tapos bigla siya titiklop. Tapos mamaya, palaban siya ulit, tapos titiklop siya. Walang ano eh, walang build-up doon sa eventual na parang full, parang fold niya. Wala eh. Kasi nagko-fold na siya nung simula pa lang eh.
Ayoko din ng ending kasi napaka-defeated niya. For somebody named Honor, parang siya yung napaka-dehado.
True. So parang, we just watched a snapshot of somebody going through hell.
Which is sad.
Yeah, I mean...
Pero kasi, alam mo ha, one of the comments ko lang dun sa sabi mong eat the rich. Kasi nagiging trend na nga siya, di ba? I mean, Parasite, tsaka Triangle of Sadness. Baka kasi parang maging gano'n na yung, signature ni Palme d'Or. Kaya siguro, hindi na niya ginawang eat the rich story to.
I mean, Cannes is French. They eat rich for breakfast. So
True.
Parang, why shy away from it?
True.
Ay, nako. Anyway, final thoughts about Anora.
Final thoughts. I think Anora deserved more. Justice for Anora.
Hashtag.
Siya yung grifter eh. Siya yung nagsisell ng fantasy. Pero parang siya yung nag-grift.
True.
Siya yung naloko dito all because she believed in love. Parang Tale as Old as Time pero napaka-teleserye. Parang I don't necessarily like that story. Parang I don't expect this from a Palme d'Or movie.
Yeah.
Yung ganun ka-cliche.
True. Ako naman, it's not worth the hype. Yan, sige. Let me just burst everyone's bubble now. It's not worth the hype. Not even worth the Palme d'Or. It's entertaining in some parts thanks to its employment of the frenetic pace, yung aforementioned. Pero even then nga it being frenetic is masking its narrative deficiencies. And like what you mentioned a few moments ago, where the movie ends up being so unsatisfying because of where it leaves Anora. Na parang, wala nangyari sa kanya. Wala nga development eh. Kung ano nga sa simula, just went through hell and then stays there. That's it. There's nothing to be gleaned from this. There's no movie magic here. Sorry, whoever outfit was mentioned sa poster na may movie magic. There's none here. Ay. Well, you win some, you lose some.
Yeah, yes.
So for Anora, we're gonna give this a B. Yeah. Okay, let's go over naman to a bit of, positivity. Kasi ito yung nagustuhan ko naman to. Yung pinanood natin, last November 8, we were invited to the opening gala of QCinema 12.
Yes.
Thank you very much, QCinema, for inviting me and Angela to see Directors Factory Philippines. Yes.
Yeah.
Cinema 11, Gateway Cineplex 18. Again, very, very beautiful cinema. Shout out again kay Gateway Cineplex din. So, let's just go over real quick yung 4 na shorts, kumbaga, na pinanood natin dito. First one called Cold Cut, directed by Don Josephus Rafael Eblahan and Tan Siu. So, just real quick, this is about a dancer who is auditioning for something. May vaguely referred to na parang contest or something. And then it intercuts with sequences of her possibly with an ex-lover na nag-i-inform nung pain and yung actually even the beauty of yung dance na na in-audition niya.
Yeah.
Yan. Ako naman, I appreciated yung kanyang parang show don't tell niya. Natin yun, weakness natin yun. As Cinegeeks, tayong dalawa, na talagang visual ang kanyang storytelling medium.
Sobrang konti nga nung lines.
Diba? Sobrang konti lang. Pero I would have appreciated a bit more, siguro, visual storytelling in the sense na, who is this other guy? Kasi parang ang nakikita natin sa kanya, nagkabanggaan sila doon sa parang pila. Tapos nagtatrabaho si guy sa babuyan. Tapos, yun na. Parang nagduduet dance na silang dalawa. Of course, you can infer from, that. Pero I guess that's the limitation, kumbaga, of a short film. And I appreciate it again, yung ganung klaseng not being dependent on too many dialogue. I'll give it a rating of B+. Sige, let's go with B+.
Next that we saw was Nightbirds.
Yeah! Favorite. Woo!
By Maria Estela Paiso and Ashok Vish. Okay, so a little bit of background. Nightbird stars Pokwang. And medyo may pagka-rotoscopic siya na fantastical animated, partly live action short film, which is very, very, very bizarre.
I loved it.
Sobra niyang weird, pero nagising ako. Nagising ako nung itong part na to na parang, ano nangyayari? Yun yung pinaka-reaction ko. Pero, it's very esoteric. Napaka bird-specific ng mga metaphor niya. Pero at least it follows the theme. And I think everything that you needed to know was in that short amount of time.
Yes.
Dahil dito sa short film na to, nag-crave ako sa tinola. Yun lang. Naghanap ako ng tinola after. For Nightbirds, I'll give it a rating of B+ as well.
B+ lang siya sa akin kasi parang sana mas mahaba siya.
Bitin ako kasi
sobrang bitin ng kwento.
Hindi naluto yung tinola eh.
Di ba? Di ba mukhang yung tinignan yung sa dulo, yun na yung tinola ni Pokwang? Di ba yun?
Pwede din. Open-ended pala, no?
Oo, sana naging siya. Naging full. Okay, so moving on. The next one was Silig, directed by Alvin Bellarmino and Lomor Pitch Riti. I hope I pronounced that right. Stars Angel Aquino and Sylvia Sanchez. So, itong si Sylvia Sanchez, si Manang, is dying. And bumalik siya to parang a childhood place, reconnecting with an old friend. Sabihin na lang natin. Ito, parang ayoko i-spoil to. Yan, na old friend na parang trying to tidy up affairs before her eventual passing. Yan. Ito naman, out of the 4 shorts na pinanood natin, ito yung pinaka parang straightforward narrative.
Yeah.
Yan, na may dialogue, tapos nakikita natin yung nangyayaring events, etc., etc.
Maybe traditional, not too esoteric, not too art filmy.
Oo. Actually, ang ganda nga,
mainstream yun. Very mainstream siya.
May mainstream, sensibilities. Kumbaga, I actually liked kung gaano ka snappy yung editing niya. Ang galing nung meron siyang eye for continuity in terms of editing yung gumawa nito. Kasi may mga moments na parang gagalaw sila. Tapos biglang yung next shot, napaka-pleasing, kumbaga, sa mata. Na isang parang quote-unquote fluid motion, pero nag-cut na to the next scene. Magaling yung pagkakagawa.
Top-notch,
top-notch siya. In terms of yung kwento niya, can you say na parang it's both mainstream and not mainstream at the same time?
Without spoiling anything?
Oo, parang siyang ganun eh.
Huwag na mag-diretso ka na sa rating. Baka ma-spoil pa natin.
True. Yan na lang. Yun na masabi natin. Na parang it's both yung mainstream and un-mainstream.
Pero si Alvin Bellarmino is a decorated short film director.
Yes.
I've seen his work sa Cinemalaya before. And he's won awards there, I think.
Let me just confirm.
For the movies, hindi ko sure kung anong titles. But yeah.
Yan, he won for Hinakdal last year and also won for Tubero. Yan yung mga works niya.
Yes. And frequent name siya na nakikita ko sa short films lineup ng Cinemalaya.
Yes. For Silig, we're gonna be giving this A-. Siguro konting pulido dun sa kwento. Pero technically speaking, wala masabi. Yan, finally.
Okay, last but not least, Walay Balay by Eve Baswell and Gogularajan Rajendran. Okay, hope I pronounced that right. This stars Ruby Ruiz
Yes.
and Shaina Magdayaw.
Yes, also known as the visual muse of QCinema 12.
Yes.
Tama ba? Oo, sige, parang ganun. Siya,
Oo.
ayoko sabing mascot.
Oo.
Pero siya yung nasa poster nung QCinema 12 ngayon, yung mukha niya. So if you're trying to parang, sino ba yung mukha na yun? Parang, ayun, si Shaina Magdayaw
I think it's very recognizable naman.
ba? Parang,
Oo, nasa picture siya ng eco bag natin.
alam mo sa akin, parang kung hindi sinabi ni si Shaina yun, nung ano doon na tayo, parang, okay, just random face with film strips on over. Pero okay, sige.
Grabe. Mukha naman siyang si Shaina, no?
Tagal ako na hindi nakakapanood na si Shaina eh.
Well, oo nga, no? Parang,
Puro siya nasa TV.
Oo, TV.
Oo.
Anyways, this is, I think, about the unrest in Mindanao.
Yes.
And it's almost a silent film, actually.
Yes,
And it's shot entirely in black and white.
Mhm.
And ito yung very visual storytelling talaga.
Oo.
Literally, na show, don't tell. We see snapshots and parang vignettes of their life in the province and their traumas and their backstories.
Yes.
Pero not much dialogue.
Mhm.
So wala masyadong exposition. And ayun, you are open to interpret what you see on screen.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
And ayun nga, the emotion of war trauma is very much established and shown on screen talaga.
Yun.
And very thanks to the acting of Shaina and Ruby Ruiz.
Tama yung sinabi mo na mas emotion siya. Yun talaga yung niya, yun yung bentahe nung walay-balay. It marinates you into the pain of the characters that we see on screen.
And by the way, walay-balay in Bisaya means no home.
No home. So yung mga na-displace during the fighting, ang sinabing isang lugar doon is yung Lanao. Pero ang pumapasok sa utak ko while watching was yung Marawi siege, yung mga victims nun or yung mga displaced na mga individuals during those conflicts. Pero yeah, I mean, they would be parang in the same parang boat, kumbaga.
Yes. And by the way dito ko din, after this short film, they revealed na all these 4 films were shot in Dapitan.
Yes. Oo. Kaya pala yung poster nung dun sa Directors Factory Philippines, yung may mukha ni Rizal na may lentes sa mata niya. That's not parang, dahil Pilipinas, Jose Rizal. Meron talagang, may meaning din yun. And I love it. I love them for that. Na ganun, yung expression nung parang fact na yun.
True. And Walay-Balay, I think, is really the one of among the 4 na talagang nag-pay tribute to the Mindanao unrest.
Yes. That's
Yun
true.
talaga. So, ayun, I was moved by it.
Mhm.
There was not much story there, pero the emotion was felt.
Yes.
Yan. So, for Walay-Balay, I give it a rating of A- as well.
Yeah. So, it's heartening na malaman na these short films are given such a grand stage, kumbaga, doon sa Director's Fortnight, na more and more Filipino creatives are parang being exposed to the world stage, yung kung gaano sila kagaling, and we hope that this continues in the future talaga. So I guess that's it for our episode talking about Anora and the Directors Factory Philippines. Now we know that tickets for the aforementioned releases were extremely hard to come by. But if you are one of the lucky ones to have seen either one or both of them, please share with us what you thought of them. We'd love to hear from you. Comment it on our social media accounts or down below on our Spotify episode page.
Yes. And don't forget to set your players to automatically download our new episodes so you don't miss out on our fun Cinegeek conversations. And while you're at it, give us a 5-star rating on Spotify and Apple Podcasts if you had fun or learned something new during this episode.
And as always, the studio, the distributor, and the film festival were not given any creative control or editorial approval of this episode. They are hearing our review for the first time, same as you are. So, for my co-host Angela, this has been Roy. Thank you for listening to the Cinegeeks Podcast, where movies, TV, and all things geek collide.